like, are you confused still? He's like, no, no, no. But I'm like, now talking to you, I'm like, is he? In all aspects.
Just be careful, babe. Like, the guy, as far as I'm concerned, is not who he said he was.
Yeah.
Like, to say that, like, you love me as much as you do, and, like, I was it no matter what, and to throw you fucking under the bus continuously, like, it's...
Yeah.
The guy likes attention. Since that night happened last Saturday...
Okay, you guys, so I've never seen something so crazy before. This woman, Laura, is literally telling Sarah Ann, this was my experience with Jeremy. It's not been positive. He's lied. He's done all these negative things. And she's listening to it, and in her mind, she's like, I don't care. I've never seen somebody literally receive information about a potential partner and completely ignore it and continue to be with that person.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Every time I see him, they're broken up.
Yeah.
So they're broken.
They're broken up every time I see him.
So when have you seen him?
There's more.
Okay, let's...
I've seen her one time. I've seen you one time.
I've seen you twice. And I
I-
asked if you were still with Sarah Ann, and you said no.
When, okay. We have gone through real life relationships.
Jeremy, I don't know if he genuinely keeps forgetting his interactions with these castmates or if he really just forgets. But this proves that it's not that it didn't happen, it's that he didn't remember, because he proceeds to then explain why him and Sarah Ann's relationship is not perfect. And leave it to Sarah Ann, she would never admit that their relationship is not perfect, because I think she came on this show to prove that her and Jeremy are still going strong and everything is perfect and under control. What Chelsea did was she kind of undermined the fact that this whole facade with Sarah Ann and Jeremy being this great couple is a lie. They're literally in their honeymoon phase of their relationship, and they've broken up and gone. It's like been a back and forth type of on and off relationship. To me, that doesn't sound like a very healthy start to a relationship. And what makes it even worse is Jeremy feels like the solution is for them to go and live together. That makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense. And another thing about it is it just proves to me that Jeremy's a little crazy, to be honest.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start by saying that I was not dating her technically. Like, I never said, will you be my girlfriend, before the show started. But there definitely was, like, obviously we were close, but she knew she was the typical girl I'd go for in real life. And I told her before, like, I want to go on this to try to experiment something else. And that, like, there's no justifying that. That sounds fucking horrible.
This man, like, everyone was rooting for him. He could have done no wrong. It's really funny how one moment you find somebody really attractive just based on their behavior alone, and the next moment, when what you thought of them proves to have been a lie, all of a sudden they're unattractive. Oh, he looks like a caveman. Oh, he looks like Groot from whatever cartoon. It's really funny how fake people are. Also, I just want to say that this is simply something you Trevor cannot defend. Like, Nick and Vanessa literally read out the text messages. This woman came on her social media platforms and explained everything. She thought that relationship was real. She thought she was doing somebody that she loved a favor by giving him room within that relationship to go on a reality TV show. We all have heard of or have been this delusional before, where you think because you love somebody, you don't want to be the reason why they feel trapped, or you don't want to be the reason why they feel like they can't do what they want, so you allow them, space to do what they want to do with the hope that they'll come back to you. And you don't get the hope out of thin air. They literally tell you, I'm only doing this for money. I'm only doing this for fame. I'm not gonna marry anyone. And these women, because they want the men so much, they hold on to those promises and they think they're doing these men favors when really and truly these men are literally just pissing all over their faces. Like, this woman is such an idiot, I'm just using her, blah 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 blah. So yes, there was no excuse. And like, he paused for a good 10 seconds trying to cry and the tears were not coming. So rightfully so, everyone is like, speak up. I mean, you were like loving the positive energy you were getting, knowing you were lying to people this whole time. Speak up.
Ulterior motives, we've got to call you out for it. So, Trevor, I know you asked to leave. You can leave now, man.
I feel like it's so hypocritical for Nick to be giving a speech about, oh, how people come here with pure intentions. Most of the people that come on Love is Blind, they come for fame. Let's get it serious at this point. He was just the one that got caught. But a lot of people come there with the motive of getting fame. So let's not get this twisted and act like, not that I'm trying to defend him, but let's not act like he's the only one that came on this show for fame. Like, everybody comes on this show for fame. Who goes on a show for love? Unless it's somebody that wants fame from it. Like, look at Jess. Jess is on every platform, doing every interview. She's commenting on every post. She's on everybody's timeline. Like, if anybody is benefiting from fame and pretty privilege from this, maybe unintentionally, it would be Jess. And I think it was a little bit intentional. And it's funny how she has all these followers simply because she's attractive. And she got rejected. It's really funny because I highly doubt that if Chelsea got rejected, she would get the same amount of fame and the same amount of worship that Jessica gets.
See what worked for me. You know, I want to be a good guy. I want to be the best version I could be, and it sucks that I wasn't like that for you.
You are a good guy.
I swear, it wasn't intentional. Like, I'm watching it back, and it broke my heart to break your heart, honestly. And that was not my intention. It happened, and I'll take everything that comes with it.
Here, AD goes again, being the nurturer, falling into the trap of wanting to help a guy and boost him up while she's falling apart. Girl, let that man cry. Take a note from Clay's mom and let that man cry and exit the building. Okay? She's clearly learned a lesson that she cannot build a man, that she cannot fix a man with daddy issues. And she had to go through 25 years of marriage to learn that there's nothing she could do to help a man that has issues and is unwilling to fix it. So she left. You should take a note from Clay's mom and not coddle these men when they cry. Exit immediately. But I see that she still loves him. And if, I guess, he applies more pressure, she would fold. It's so easy to tell. But I wish she wouldn't.
What flags did you observe of his in the pods, and what ones did you feel like you maybe chose to ignore?
The whole marriage thing, honestly, started in the pods. He was very afraid of marriage and long-term commitment, simultaneously telling me this is what I want so bad. At one hand, he's like, oh, I'm afraid. And the other hand, he's like, but I want you so bad. I want this. I want to be married.
In a very clever way, Clay said, I have a lot of potential. I just need someone to fix me.
Oof.
Did you see it differently watching it back?
There's so much you don't see, which
Sure.
I'm sure you're aware of. I would love to put some context to this. Clay and I had so many conversations about not moving forward. And I know it looks like I'm blindly following him off a cliff, and he's telling me I don't want to marry. And I'm like, okay, let's go get married. And he's like, no, I don't want to. And I'm like, yeah. There were so many conversations where I was like, I'm good to walk away. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good to walk away. And he'd be like, no, AD, I really want to try. I really want to do this. I really want to make this work with you. And I'd be like, okay, well, let's try. And then he would actually try and do things differently and show up for me in certain ways. And then he would hit me with a sprinkle, I'm just afraid to get married. And I'm like, okay, well, again, we do not have to do this. I'm okay. I would rather not be humiliated in front of all of my family and friends. And he's like, AD, I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm not going to humiliate you. And I said, okay.
We just saw an interview that AD did on Nick Vial's podcast called Vial Files, where she's essentially admitting to being breadcrumbed, which is what I've been telling you guys about why AD stayed. These men, it's like they don't really want you right now, but they don't want you to go anywhere. So the way they keep you there is by feeding you these breadcrumbs of, oh, I still want to be here. I still want you, but I don't want the marriage, but I still want you. And I feel like Clay knew that if he was just honest with her and said, I don't think I can marry you, she would have left. And I really think she would have left. But he had to breadcrumb her because he wanted her to stay, and I don't think that was fair. So this just gave proof of what I've been saying about these kinds of men.
Has that apology happened? Have you had that chance to have that moment with your father?
It's not, me and my dad have a great relationship in terms of our banter. It hasn't been like a I'm sorry, but in his way, it has been.
Just wanted to touch on this just a little bit because nobody's really touching on it. But Caribbean parents do not like apologizing, especially dads. They don't like to apologize. They don't think they do anything wrong. Furthermore, they don't bond with their children on an emotional level, and you could tell how uncomfortable Clay was with his dad. They were trying to express their love for each other, and it just came out so unnatural and weird. It's because they're not accustomed to doing it. We don't do this in Caribbean households, and typically if it's done, it's normally the mom that does it, not the dad.
But it's something I really never had to think about, I feel like, as a guy, because it wasn't something that I was thinking about constantly.
And there were continuous conversations too.
Yeah.
And I feel like, respectfully, I had to educate him a lot. But, we figured it out. I never ended up going on birth control. He never got a vasectomy.
Like with this couple, it was pretty much smooth sailing, which nobody is too interested in when we watch Love is Blind. We want to see the train wrecks. We want to see the unpredictable outcomes. When the situations seem like, okay, we know what's gonna come next, then there's no fun in watching it. You know what I'm saying? They had a very predictable ending. It was very sweet, but it was predictable. The whole conversation about the condoms and the birth controls and the things was simply because he didn't want to have protected intercourse with her. Let's just be completely honest. He wanted to do it without having to use the condom. So he put it all on her, talking about birth control, which I thought was really selfish of him. But glad they came to a resolution. I also feel like also the fact that he's done this before and his other girlfriends have been on birth control, I just feel like he was so accustomed to just the women being the ones to protect themselves that he never questioned nor asked. I don't think he ever cared. I think now maybe he cares about this woman. He did the research.
And I'm happy with that.
Well, one thing you know, he's always got his phone, so you can always reach him.
They're friends. Hooray. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Honestly, I'm happy for them if they decided that being friends were better than being in a relationship. This makes me feel like what was shown on the show pertaining to their ending was not how it actually went. It probably went amicably, but what was shown made it look as if it was a horrible ending. Because look at how they're speaking of they're so good as friends, and they want to be careful of introducing new people. They want to know how to navigate, blah, 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 blah. People still think that Kenneth is gay. And to be honest, I could see why. But that was that. Thanks for listening to my recap. That's all I had to say about the reunion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is there anything that I missed? You can also add that in the comment section and I will reply to it. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time as we review other shows. Bye.